Alright, let's talk about the American dream. You know the one. You work hard, you get a good job, you buy a house with a needlessly complicated sprinkler system, and maybe, just maybe, you can afford to die without leaving your family a bill the size of a small country's GDP. It's a beautiful, if increasingly mythical, concept. But lately, it seems like corporate America has taken that dream, crumpled it up, and is trying to sell it back to us as a high-priced NFT. Because right now, what's more American than getting laid off? It's a national pastime, right up there with arguing about pineapple on pizza and pretending to understand how the Electoral College works. The numbers, frankly, are staggering. A recent survey of US business leaders in September 2025 found that a whopping 39% of their companies had already conducted layoffs this year. And for those of you thinking, well, at least it's over, hold on to your hats. The same survey revealed that 58% are planning even more layoffs in 2026. This isn't just a few bad apples, it's the entire orchard deciding that apples are no longer cost-effective. We've seen giants like Google, Amazon, and Meta, companies that have more money than just about anyone, shedding employees by the tens of thousands since 2022. It's a corporate bloodbath. So why is this happening? What's the big corporate justification for turning their workforce into a revolving door? Well, the official reason, the one they put in the sad, sterile press release, is usually economic uncertainty. That's corporate speak for we're a little nervous, so we're firing Dave from accounting. But there's another, more specific reason that 35% of companies are admitting to: artificial intelligence. That's right. Companies are looking at their loyal human employees and thinking, you know what would be better? A robot that can't ask for a raise or use up all the good coffee pods. This isn't just about trimming the fat. It's a fundamental shift in strategy. Kara Dennison from resume.org put it bluntly, saying that companies are targeting high-salary roles for immediate savings and employees who lack AI skills because, well, they're accelerating automation. It's a calculated move to create leaner, more tech-focused workforces. The message from the corner office is crystal clear. If you can't code a machine to do your job for you, a machine might soon be doing your job instead of you. The loyalty you showed them for a decade? That's worth less than a free trial of ChatGPT Pro. Now, you might think that with all these layoffs there would be a hiring freeze. You would be adorably, tragically wrong. Because at the exact same time, these companies are showing thousands of American workers the door. They are flinging another door wide open for foreign workers on H-1B visas. It's a stunning contradiction. It's like breaking up with someone because you need to focus on yourself, and then immediately updating your relationship status on Facebook. And Congress is starting to notice. Senators Dick Durbin and Chuck Grassley have been pointing out the sheer absurdity of tech giants firing Americans while simultaneously filing petitions for H-1B workers. This isn't an accident. It's a feature, not a bug. The dirty little secret of the H-1B program is that there is absolutely no legal requirement for companies to prove they tried to hire an American first. None. They don't have to post the job, interview a single citizen, or even pretend to look. They can just decide they want to hire a foreign worker, often for less money, and go for it. This has turned the program, which was meant to fill genuine skill gaps, into a tool for replacing perfectly qualified, and sometimes more expensive, American workers. It's a loophole big enough to drive a truck full of resumes through. And then there's the AI of it all. The plan isn't just to replace some workers, it's to fundamentally rewire the office. By the end of 2026, a staggering 37% of companies expect to have replaced human roles with AI. That's not a distant sci-fi future, that's just over a year from now. We are on the precipice of a massive shift, where skills that were valuable 5 years ago are becoming obsolete. The jobs that are being created are for people who can build, manage, and train these AI systems, while the jobs being eliminated are the ones the AI can now perform more cheaply and efficiently. The result is a pincer movement on the American worker. On one side, you have AI coming for jobs that can be automated. On the other side, for the complex jobs that remain, you have companies using the H-1B program to find cheaper labor, bypassing the domestic talent pool. It's a perfect storm of corporate cost-cutting and technological disruption. For a skilled American worker looking for a job, it's like playing a game of musical chairs where the music has stopped. Half the chairs have been replaced by robots, and the other half have been reserved for someone else. So, who exactly is getting caught in this corporate crossfire? The answer is brutally simple: the American middle class. The people being laid off are not just entry-level employees. According to that 2025 survey, high-salary workers are the most likely group to get the boot, at 48%. These aren't people at the start of their careers. These are experienced professionals, the bedrock of the white-collar workforce. These are your neighbors with the well-manicured lawns, the ones who coach Little League and organize the neighborhood block party, and their sense of security is evaporating faster than a politician's promise. This strategy is actively eroding the stability that once defined a middle-class life. The dream was never just about getting a job, it was about getting a job that let you plan for the future, save for your kids' college, and retire with dignity. But that stability is being replaced by a corporate hunger for agility and cost efficiency. What that really means is that a company's loyalty to its bottom line now vastly outweighs any loyalty to the people who helped build it. Tenure and experience, once seen as assets, are now viewed as expensive liabilities on a balance sheet. The human cost of this is immense. Lawmakers have reported hearing from desperate constituents whose college-educated children, saddled with debt, cannot find a job in their field. These aren't isolated anecdotes, they are symptoms of a systemic problem. When corporations can either automate a job with AI or fill it with a cheaper H-1B worker, the incentive to invest in and train the domestic workforce plummets. Why would they bother when there are easier, more profitable options available? This creates a bottleneck for skilled Americans trying to enter or advance in their careers. This is how the ladder of upward mobility gets kicked out from under an entire generation. The promise of the American dream is that if you get the skills and the education, the opportunities will be there. But what happens when that promise is broken? What happens when you do everything right? You go to college, you gain experience, you work hard, only to find that the jobs you trained for are being automated or outsourced. You're left with a sense of betrayal. The very system that was supposed to reward your efforts is now designed to replace you. Thankfully, it seems someone in Washington, D.C. finally noticed the house was on fire. The government, in its typically slow, lumbering way, has started to respond. Just last month, on September 19, 2025, President Trump signed a proclamation that slapped a new, temporary $100,000 fee on every new H-1B petition. The goal is pretty clear: to make it so prohibitively expensive to replace an American worker that companies might, actually consider not doing it. It's a bold move, essentially a financial penalty for outsourcing jobs under the guise of filling a skills gap. It's about time someone made it hurt. And the changes don't stop there. The Department of Homeland Security is finally planning to reform the H-1B system itself. For years, it's been a lottery, which critics argue incentivizes companies to flood the system with applications for lower-paying jobs. The new plan is to prioritize petitions that offer higher salaries. The logic is simple. If a company is willing to pay top dollar for a foreign worker, there's a better chance they're filling a genuinely specialized role, not just trying to save a buck. It's a move away from a random lottery and towards a system based on actual value and need. But while the government is trying to patch the holes, corporations are masters at finding new ones. They justify these layoffs and hiring practices with a wave of buzzwords: restructuring, synergy, adapting to a new technological paradigm. It all sounds very forward-thinking until you realize it's just a fancy way of saying, we're firing people to make more money. The push towards AI and a tech-ready workforce is presented as inevitable progress, but it ignores the very real, very painful consequences for the millions of skilled workers being left behind. Progress for whom, exactly? So, is this fair? Is it fair that the American dream of a secure, middle-class life is being dismantled piece by piece for the sake of corporate profits and efficiency? Is it fair that you can work for a company for 20 years, only to be replaced by an algorithm or a worker on a visa because it saves your CEO a fraction of their bonus? The answer seems screamingly obvious, doesn't it? We are at a crossroads, and the choices being made in boardrooms today are fundamentally reshaping the future of work in this country, and not for the better. Thank you for reading. The conversation about technology, jobs, and the future of the American dream is more important than ever. If you want to stay on top of it, be sure to follow us for more. Trust me, there's plenty more to be angry about. And finally, thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps us out, and we appreciate your support.